Some people have placed their hands on a loved one and, without knowing how or why, have felt an energy flowing, an unexplainable warmth, a slight tingling, an invisible force that seemed to have a life of its own. They did it without knowledge, without degrees, without complex techniques, only with the pure intention of easing the pain of someone they love. And yet, something happened. What exactly was it? Today, I want to talk to you about that which many have felt, but few dare to believe. Is the healing power that lives in your hands real, or is it just suggestion? An illusion of the mind, or a truth older than medicine itself? Science still searches for answers to this debate, to this question. But souls who have lived this in their own flesh, know. Because there are things that can't be explained with logic, but are understood through faith. And you might be closer to this gift than you imagine. Stay with me, because today I'll show you how this healing works, what activates it, what blocks it, and how you can awaken that dormant gift that already lives in you. And at the end, I'll reveal the most common mistake that prevents many from healing, and how to free it with one simple action. If this message is already touching something within you, write in the comments, "Yes, I am ready to heal with faith." Maybe that declaration is the first step to activating your gift. There is a moment, almost always silent, when something begins to change. It doesn't happen with big announcements or loud signs, but with something as subtle as it is powerful, a sensation that appears in your hands. It may be a mild warmth that activates for no apparent reason, a tingling that rises through your palms as if something were flowing from within, or a soft vibration that seems to have its own will. This is not fantasy or suggestion, it is real. And for many people, it is the first calling. The testimonies repeat themselves again and again. I was praying for someone, and suddenly, my hands lit up. I approached to comfort a sick relative and felt an intense energy I had never felt before. I barely touched that person, and something in me knew I was transmitting more than just comfort. These stories are not coincidence or exaggeration. They are signs. What is happening is that the soul is activating a channel that has always been there, but for a long time was asleep. Your hands are not just a physical tool. They are a direct extension of your spiritual energy. Through them, you can touch more than the skin. You can touch vibration, the subtle field, the energetic memory of another soul. That's why, when these sensations begin to manifest, you should not ignore them. They are a whisper from the soul telling you you are ready to remember. And you don't need to be a professional healer or have advanced spiritual training. You just need to be willing to listen to that invisible calling. Because when your hands begin to feel it is your spirit that is awakening, write in the comments, "My hands have already started speaking to me." Maybe that testimony is the sign another soul needs to awaken. Also, when you place your hands on someone, you're not performing a mystical act without meaning. What happens in that moment is deeply real. From an energetic perspective, your hands begin to emit a frequency. That vibration, which is born from your intention, from your heart, from your inner state, becomes an invisible bridge that comes into contact with the energetic field of the other person. It is not magic. It is vibration. It is a communication between souls that happens beyond words, beyond the physical. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, every intention that lives in you changes the quality of that vibration. If you lay your hands from love, from compassion, from the desire to ease another's pain. The frequency you transmit is coherent, harmonious, restorative. But if you do it from fear, from doubt, or from ego, that energy can weaken or even become blocked. That is why the real power is not in the gesture, but in the purpose behind it. And here comes a key that many forget: conscious intention. It's not about repeating techniques like an empty ritual or copying what others do. What truly activates healing is the internal connection to the purpose. If your intention is honest, if it comes from your soul, then what you transmit is pure. Even if you have no experience, even if you don't know how to do it. And above all is faith. Not blind faith, but living faith, authentic, deeply human. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be someone special. You just need to be true. Because when faith combines with conscious intention, the vibration you emit aligns with the Creator's energy. Write in the comments, "It's not magic. I trust in my vibration." And if this message is resonating with you, share it. Someone else needs to remember what they carry in their hands. Your hands are not just a part of your body. They are a direct expression of your soul. In many ancient traditions, they were considered sacred portals, points of entry and exit for vital energy. The palms in particular are described as open channels through which the healing force of spirit flows. When you extend your hands toward someone, you're not simply touching their skin. You are sharing your essence. If you closely observe the spiritual practices of different cultures, you will see that the use of hands is always present: blessing, praying, laying on, consecrating, protecting. It's not a coincidence. The hands have spiritual memory. They are receivers, but also transmitters. When consciously activated, they can become instruments of healing, connection, and love. To begin awakening that energetic flow in your hands, you can perform small daily exercises. One of the simplest is to slowly rub your palms together for a minute in silence, with the intention of activating their energy. Then separate them slightly and feel the space between them. You might perceive a slight warmth, an invisible resistance, as if something were there. That is vital energy. That is your soul speaking to you. You can also practice visualization. Imagine a soft light emerging from the center of your palms, expanding outward with each breath. That light is not imagination. It is real vibration. Your awareness is awakening. These practices are deeply connected to the chakras. In particular, the heart chakra plays a key role. When that center is open, the hands become a pure channel of divine love. That's why many healers feel the energy flows better when their intention comes from love, not duty or pride. Real healing always flows from the heart, through the hands, to the soul of another. Subscribe if you've ever felt your hands could heal, and tell me in the comments, have you ever received a sign of this gift? Your story could awaken the dormant memory in another soul. One of the most common mistakes when a spiritual gift awakens is the desire to prove it. The ego disguises itself as light. It starts seeking a validation, recognition, even superiority. But true faith doesn't need a stage. It doesn't seek applause. Authentic faith doesn't shout. It whispers. And it is in that silence where true healing power operates. Many people who heal others never post about it, never say it out loud. They do it silently, in hospitals, in homes, in the middle of an intimate prayer. They are souls who seek not recognition, but service, because they have understood something essential. The gift is not theirs, it is God's. They are only a channel. A woman shared that while praying for her sick mother, she simply held her hands while she slept. She did nothing else. But the next day, the doctors noticed an unexplainable improvement. No one knew, except her and her faith. That's the difference. Ego says, I did it. Faith says, God did it through me. Spiritual humility opens more portals than any sophisticated technique, because when the heart is free from vanity, energy flows freely. It finds no resistance. It does not collide with the need for control. It simply expands. So if you feel you have a gift, don't announce it. Live it. Don't impose it. Offer it. Because the more invisible your intention, the more visible the divine work becomes. Energy knows no distance. It does not understand kilometers or walls. And when love becomes intention, it can travel as far as needed. There are people who have felt the healing power of hands even without being physically touched. And it's not suggestion, it's vibration. It is real. A man in Colombia prayed deeply for his sister who was hospitalized in Spain. During the prayer, he visualized his hands surrounding her body, covering her in light. At the same time, she felt a surrounding warmth that completely calmed her. When they spoke, they both described what they had felt at the same moment on different continents. These are not isolated cases. They are signs of love as a vibrational bridge. Unconditional love, when united with intention and faith, transcends the physical. Distance healing happens when two souls connect from the heart, even without words. Science still cannot measure it, but the spirit can live it, because the soul does not need to touch to feel, it only needs energetic presence. So never underestimate a prayer, an intention, a sincere visualization. Your hands do not always need to be physically present. Sometimes it is enough for them to be present spiritually. One of the great truths of energetic healing is that it can work even if the person doesn't believe, but the effect will be limited. Energy is never imposed. It respects. The recipient's faith is like a door. The more open it is, the more deeply the vibration can enter. When someone doubts, they protect themselves. They close off, not consciously, but energetically. And that creates an invisible barrier that weakens the flow. It doesn't completely block it, but it does reduce the depth of the impact. That's why many healers feel that sometimes something doesn't flow when the other person is emotionally or spiritually closed. And if it's you who doubts, if you're unsure whether you can truly heal, then you need to return to the origin, love. Doubt dissolves when your intention is born from the heart. You don't need to know exactly how it works. You only need to trust that the energy goes where it's most needed. To re-establish your spiritual channel, go back to the simple. Breathe. Connect with your purpose. Pray. Clean your field with affirmations like, I am open to being a channel of light and love. Visualize your hands as divine antennas. Feel that it's not you who heals, but that you allow something greater to flow through you. Share this message if you feel the world needs to remember its power to heal with love. Maybe by sharing it, you're extending an invisible hand to someone who needs it most. Many seek techniques, methods, protocols, as if healing were a recipe. But the real secret is not in what you do, but in how you are. Presence is the key. Being with the other, feeling them, breathing with them, honoring that moment as sacred, that heals more than any manual. When you are truly present, your breath calms, your mind quiets, your heart expands. In that state, your soul becomes a pure channel. You don't need to lay your hands forcefully or repeat exact words. It's enough to simply be there with all your being. The connection with God is not built in noise, it's activated in silence. A simple prayer, a soul-born request, can open portals that no technique can achieve on its own. Because when you disappear, He appears. And what flows is not your energy, it is His presence through you. In that moment, you are not the healer, you are the temple. You don't act, you allow, you don't impose, you hold space. That's why, before seeking more knowledge, seek more depth. Turn off distractions. Look into the soul in front of you and in silence, simply be. Before you lay your hands on another, even before you approach another human being, there is a sacred space you must inhabit, your own inner world. You cannot transmit light if there is confusion, disorder, or tension within you. That's why every act of healing begins with an invisible ritual, an intimate gesture of energetic and spiritual preparation. The first step is cleansing. You don't need complex ceremonies. A clear intention is enough. You can use water to purify, passing your hands under running water while repeating, "I cleanse my energy and make myself available to serve with love." You can also use fire, a candle, or earth by briefly placing your hands on a plant, or simply use your conscious breath to cleanse your field. Then comes consecration. Your hands must be offered as channels of light. Touch your palms together, close your eyes, and say a prayer. Lord, may my hands not be mine but yours. May what flows from them be love, peace, healing, and truth. May I disappear, and may your presence be revealed. This simple act raises your vibration and turns your body into a temple. There are energetic postures that help concentrate intention. One is to hold your palms facing the sky, like someone offering something sacred. Another is to slightly extend your arms forward, forming a chalice. These positions have no power on their own, but they do when charged with intention and presence. Healing is not about touching, it's about surrendering. And when you prepare with humility, even before laying on hands, you've already begun the healing. There are moments when your body starts speaking on its own. Your hands sweat for no reason. Intense heat flows through your arms, or you feel something vibrating inside you like a subtle current. Sometimes you even tremble slightly, and it's not fear, it's energy. It's the clearest sign that you are channeling something beyond yourself. When you transmit energy, it's as if an invisible current passes through you. Some people feel chills, others feel warmth. Some become emotional without explanation, others fall into deep silence. All of this is part of the process. The body reacts because it knows something is happening in the invisible field. The recipient may also experience similar sensations, feelings of relief, emotions rising, unexplained tears, deep sleep, or a peace that cannot be explained. This happens because the vibration you are transmitting is touching internal layers, ancient memories, unexpressed pain, and all of it begins to be released. But there is also a risk many are unaware of: absorbing other people's emotions. If you're not energetically protected, you can carry with you burdens that aren't yours. That's why before and after each session, it's important to perform a cleansing, say a closing prayer, and visualize yourself returning to the universe everything that doesn't belong to you. You can say, "I release everything that is not mine. I cleanse myself. I free myself. I restore myself." And then give thanks, because each time you are a channel, you are also being healed. Write in your journal, "My hands are a bridge of light." Do it with intention, and you'll see how something unlocks within you. There's one truth that must be clear. You are not the one who heals. You never were. You are only the instrument, the channel, the vehicle. The energy that flows through your hands is not yours, it is God's. And the more you understand that, the more powerful your gift will be. Before every act of healing, surrender to Spirit, not as someone who asks for power, but as someone who offers themselves in service. Say to God, "Use my hands however you wish. I trust you. I follow you. I surrender." In that state of surrender, your channel is cleansed. You no longer act from control, but from faith. And that changes everything. A woman shared that for years she tried to heal using technique. She learned Reiki, meditations, visualizations, but something wasn't fully flowing. Until one day, she simply surrendered in prayer. She no longer asked to do it right, she only asked to be available. And then for the first time, she felt that her energy truly reached the soul of the other. The true healer is invisible. They don't seek attention. They don't impose. They simply allow, because they know that when God acts, everything is perfect. Every time you use your hands to heal, remember, you are not the source of the light. You are only the channel through which it flows. And that channel stays clear only when it's connected to the source. So before you extend your hands, extend your soul, and God will do the rest. The true enemy of the gift is not outside, it is inside. It is silent, disguised. It hides behind small thoughts, inherited phrases, past experiences. It is doubt, self-judgment. That voice that says, "What if what you feel isn't real? What if you're just imagining it? What if someone else does it better than you?" That is the mistake that most blocks healing. Spiritual self-sabotage. And it shows up in the most sensitive, the most sincere, those who want to do it well. Because the soul that wants to serve also fears failing. And in that fear, it closes off, contracts, disconnects. Many feel the calling, but they don't dare to act because they compare themselves to others. They have more experience, more gifts, more faith. But God doesn't measure your worth by what you know. He looks at your willingness, your surrender, your humility. When you offer yourself in service from the heart, everything else aligns. To release this block, observe your thoughts with compassion, not to fight them, but to heal them. Ask yourself, where does this doubt come from? Who told me I wasn't enough? Why do I believe I must do more to deserve this gift? Breathe. Let go of the need for control and replace every limiting belief with a higher truth. Tell yourself, I am a channel. I don't need to do it perfectly. I only need to be available. Energy flows best when you don't resist, when you trust, when you simply allow. You've come this far for a reason. It wasn't by chance. This message touched something in you because part of your soul already knew it. Your hands are not ordinary, they never were. They carry ancient memories, dormant abilities, and a mission that is just now beginning to awaken. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait to know more or to be more spiritual. Life is already calling you, and the only thing you need to begin is to say yes, because your hands are already ready, not because they are trained, but because your heart is already willing. I want to invite you to a brief activation. Close your eyes for a moment. Place your palms facing each other without touching. Take a deep breath. Feel the space between them. Visualize a golden light igniting at the center of each palm. That light is you. It is your soul. It is God flowing through you. Now repeat silently or aloud. My hands are a bridge of light. I don't need to be special, only available. Breathe once more and feel that phrase settle inside you. This is the beginning. From today on, every time you place your hands on someone with love, with faith, with humility, you'll be remembering your gift. Don't do it out of pride. Do it out of compassion. Because the world needs hands like yours. Hands that heal without asking for anything in return. Write in the comments what part of this message resonated most with you. Maybe by writing it, you'll activate the power of another soul that still doesn't dare to believe in itself.